Working in the fashion industry for over 3 decades, our next guest has seen and done it all, from modeling, producing, and being an agent. She's put all of that knowledge into a book describing the inner workings of the industry, and it's not always the glitz and glamour that you see on the surface. Here to tell us more about her book, Wildchilds, is author Eugenia Melian. Thank you so much, Eugenia, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, we're really excited to talk about your work in Wildchilds. But before we get to what's behind the pages, let's talk about you and your experience as a model in the industry. How did that bring you to this point today?
I started when I was very young. I was working when I was 18. My first internship was in Paris at Yves Saint Laurent Couture. I was in the press offices. And then from there, I met an artist, my first artist, that I went on to represent. He was a fashion illustrator called Tony Veramontes. And as a side gig, I was also modeling. And then from there, from Paris, I moved to Milan, where I opened my first agency, and I was only 22 years old.
Wow.
And I needed money to fund it. So I did more modeling, lots of runway, showrooms, etc. And then when I started representing more and more artists and producing a lot of jobs, I got behind the scenes and started really taking a look at the things that were going on. And even though I'm passionate about fashion photography and the fashion industry, what I saw throughout those 3 decades in particular, when I started, when we had no social media, no camera phones, it was pretty disturbing. So I thought that I would write a book from the point of view of a fashion model, a fashion photographer, and that would cover all the different aspects of the industry, from magazines, advertising, editorials, commercials, etc.
Wow, incredible that you've had all of that experience and you've been able to really sum it up for readers within your book, Wildchilds. And what can people expect when they open the pages when it comes to this world that a lot of people don't know about?
I try to do it as informative as I could without being too didactic. So I show the process of a typical fashion shoot or a runway, or how editorial stories are created, how they're edited. I think that if you read the book, you really get a sense of how big, large, difficult, and professional the industry is. It's a massive industry. It moves trillions of dollars a year. And the people there is not really what you see in, let's say, TV series or funny books about the fashion industry. Everybody there is very professional. The problem is that where there is beauty and youth, predators come. They're like sharks. And so I think that you get another sense of what the modeling industry really is about, because it's through the viewpoint of a very young girl. And nobody feels sorry for models because, you know, they're beautiful, they're young, they're thin, they just walk up and down. And in fact, it's such a horrible job, and it's such a difficult job where so many kids, young kids, thousands of them come every year to try their luck, and they don't make it, and only a handful make it. So I wanted to also contrast all the fabulousness of the industry and the beauty of the clothes, and why we all need fashion as a form of self-expression, with the very dark side that goes on with these kids, and sexual abuse and abuse of power.
Wow, that's some really, really deep stuff, and it's incredible that you're talking from your own personal experience. But what do you truly hope, Eugenia, that people take away from this read when they do pick up the pages of Wildchilds?
Let me see, I hope that they realize that working in the fashion industry is not as easy as they think. Not everybody can do it. It's not just about parties and clothes and models and celebrities. And I don't know, just maybe be a little bit more respectful. People make fun of people in the industry because they have such big personalities, or in fact, the industry does embrace people with troubled personalities because they say that they're very eccentric. But I hate these stereotypes of the crazy, bigger-than-life personality that just seems to be drinking lattes all day long, like in some of the series we have seen. I just really do hope that people understand that the fashion industry is extremely serious and extremely focused and very professional as well.
Yeah, and I know that people probably will absolutely be able to, get that from reading the pages of your book. But really quickly before I let you go, Eugenia, how can they get a copy of your book or maybe even get in touch with you?
I am on my website, eugeniamelian.com. My book is available everywhere, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, etc. And yeah, I mean, I'll be hopefully doing more book signings and turning Wildchilds into a TV series.
Amazing. Well, we are really looking forward to all of that. But thank you for coming on the show and just sharing everything that goes into making this book. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Of course.